There is a life I lead in this city, hurrying to cup my tea. I can take what I need to get by, it doesn't make it easy. The other piece of my heart moves slow, somewhere in the great unknown. When I return from the afterglow, will you carry me like I am whole again? Wait, hold on, put me together, take me back where I belong. I want it all, I had a feeling, but the feeling is all gone. Wait, hold on.
Hi guys.
Hi guys, welcome back.
Today's a little bit of a Q&A. I put a post out onto Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, just asking your questions that you wanted to know about us. So we thought we'd do a little Q&A. It's been a while.
Has been a while, so we thought we'd get into it. So let's do that, shall we? Okay, so the first question we had, and thank you for all the questions, by the way.
Yeah.
5 things we love that we have taken with us.
5 things we love.
Number 1?
Okay. Coffee machine.
Right up there is coffee machine. It's been awesome. It's a little streamlined DeLonghi get up, and it's just lightweight, it saves space, and it does a really good coffee.
Yeah, and it just saves you from, when you're traveling around, I don't know about you, but for me, I love a good coffee first thing in the morning, and
Doesn't operate without one.
I don't operate properly, I don't function, and if I then have to get up in the morning and try to find where I can get a coffee, it's just not going to be right.
No.
And then I'll probably order it and it's not going to be right. And then I'll be grumpy for the rest of the day.
She's hard to please.
So it's much easier for us to just carry a coffee machine. It was only a cheap one. I think it was like maybe $250 for this little one. Takes up no space. And
we'd buy it again if it broke.
Yeah, it does a pretty good job. Doesn't do the most amazing job, but it does a really good job and we enjoy it. So coffee machine.
Next thing?
I mean, a simple thing that we've taken with us that we love is a good comfy camp chair. I would say.
It's one of those things that you really shouldn't be skimping on. Invest in quality stuff, but the stuff that you know you're going to use a lot of.
Yeah.
A lot of the time. So camp chair, chair. You're driving all day and you pull up to camp and all you want to do is just relax with a beer or a gin and tonic. Well, a chair is going to help you do that.
Yeah.
So definitely. And they've been hard to find for us too, like the fit us and that we find comfortable.
I think for me, when I'm looking for a camp chair, and this is not sponsored or anything like that because it's not what we do, but I like something that I can sit in for a while, because sometimes you are like sitting next to the fire or wherever, and you could be sitting in the chair for a good while, right? So you don't want something that you can only sit in for like 10 minutes and it's uncomfortable. It needs to be comfortable. I like these type of chairs. This is what we've got. It's the Wanderer. It's from BCF. It reclines. I love it, but the problem with this one, it does take up a lot of space when you fold it. It just kind of folds in half, takes up a lot of space. We have got some new ones, which are in storage, or not in storage. They're just not right here at the moment. They're packed up. Mm-hmm. So we're using our old ones currently, and they're also from BCF, and they're kind of like an umbrella chair, but kind of like this chair. And so far they seem pretty comfortable. We haven't really tested them out too much yet, but you'll see them soon.
I would say for the next thing, our Google Chrome.
Oh, yeah.
I would say Google Chrome because, you don't want to be driving around from place to place with your hard drives with all your downloaded shows and stuff, which isn't strictly legal these days, downloading shows and that. But we did do that for a little while, particularly when we were working at the Roadhouse. We didn't have any good reception or any reception at all. So the Google Chrome didn't work. But everywhere else, it's been brilliant because you got everything you want to watch right there.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't have the biggest TV.
So if you don't know what a Google Chrome is, it's a little device that you plug into the back of the TV. The one that we have is the one that comes with a remote, and it turns your TV into a smart TV. You do have to use the inverter if you're off grid, because it does need 240 power to run. But it just pulls up any streaming app that you want, or you could get like 9 Now or ABC TV, and you can watch free-to-air TV over the internet in places that your TV antenna doesn't work. I know a lot of people travelling around don't watch TV or anything like that, but we find, because we live full-time in the caravan, there are moments where you just actually want to watch TV and get caught up on the news or something like that, and you might not be able to get reception because our TV antenna on the caravan is not great. So we plug that in and we can stream with the internet. We have a bigger plan with Telstra, so that doesn't affect us, and that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's a good one. Number 3.
No, number 3, I would say my kitchen knives. So I was a chef in a previous life, and the old knives were just sort of sitting in their toolbox, in their knife wraps, and in the shed, just doing nothing. So I thought, well, I'll take them with us, and just having a good quality razor sharp knife, it just helps. Yeah. We had this little Wiltshire thing, and it had like that little sharpening thing in it, and which I'm sure a lot of you probably still have, which is fine, whatever works for you. But I, being an ex-professional, I needs a good knife.
Yeah. I think, so that's number 4, right? Mm-hmm. So number 5, I'm going to add to that one. And for us, because we enjoy cooking, is actually having the right cooking appliances to do what we want to do. If you've watched a couple of our videos, you understand that we do cook a lot, and we like to make things instead of going out to dinner, like make them ourselves what we're feeling like. So we need to have the right kind of cooking equipment to do that. So basically, just standard, we have like a big pot, a small pot, like frying pan, and then in addition to that, we've got like a griddle pan and some other things that we have that not everybody will travel with is a taco press. So we could make a homemade tortillas.
I reckon for sure we're the only people travelling Australia at the moment with a taco press.
Yeah, probably.
Or one of few.
There's not many.
Yeah.
And I also have a hand mixer, like electric mixer, because Grant is gluten-free, so we make cakes and stuff on the road, and trying to make cakes with a hand whisker just takes way too long with a hand whisk. And yeah, I just gave in. I'm like, I don't care. I'm just going to go buy one. It's a cheap one.
Whisking things became my job.
Yeah,
she just couldn't do it.
No, I'm not in for that. Get the electric one, and that does fine.
Next one was 5 things we didn't need.
So number 1, if I just follow on from our last thing, which was kitchen appliances and cooking equipment, we brought a NutriBullet with us. To be honest, in like 2 years, I've used it like 4 times. So for us, I would say I didn't need to bring that, and we're not going to take it with us when we go again. We're going to leave it here at Dad's. So no NutriBullet.
No NutriBullet.
Didn't use it.
I would say my pulse, or I bought
Well, you didn't. You already had it, I think.
I brought it with us. It was it's just a 3-stage saw. Because in my mind, like before we left, I'm clearing out the shed, thinking, we've got a tall van. What if we go somewhere and there's a branch in the way and I can't move it? Oh yeah, saw. Okay, that's a great idea. Haven't used it once.
Oh, you did use it but not while we were camping. When we were in Mandurah and we were house sitting, when the owners came back, Rob and Leonie, hi, they came back and they had some palms and they wanted to cut them down. So Grant grabbed it out and cut them down.
The one time I used it, but not for the purpose that I thought.
Number 3 would be board games.
Oh, yeah.
Games.
We filled a cavity under the couch with board games.
Yeah, we took, because I like board games, and I thought, well, while we're travelling around, you're going to have moments where you're bored, and so you want to play a board game to ease the boredom. Yeah, but no, I think we played like Monopoly once, and then the other ones we didn't really play at all. So they're staying here at my dad's and won't be coming with us. So I guess it depends on how you fill your spare time. So at the moment, we fill our spare time with filming and YouTube and editing videos. And that really satisfies us and it keeps our brain engaged, and we don't really need to play a game very often. So occasionally we'll play like Uno or like Monopoly Deal or something like that. So we might still take those small card games with us, but actual board games are all staying behind. Okay, 4. Number 4, going out clothes.
Oh, going out clothes. Who needs that stuff?
You might need just one.
We don't go out.
Just one outfit, one thing that you could do if you needed to really go out somewhere. But we haven't really. Okay, granted, we don't go out that often, and we didn't because we had the dogs with us. But you really can just wear a pair of jeans and a top to pretty much anywhere you're going to go. You don't really need to have special going out clothes unless you're expecting to go to a wedding or something like that. I would say, one outfit that is nicer than the rest of your clothes. That's not a pair of jean shorts. Mm-hmm. That's about it. That's all you need. You don't take going out clothes.
Is that 5?
No, one more.
One more. I would say the one thing that I didn't use. Well, actually, no. The one thing we didn't use was the pull-out kitchen that we ended up replacing.
The kitchen,
yeah.
outdoor kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We had a forward-fold camper trailer like a lifetime ago, it seems. The only kitchen was a pull-out kitchen, and every meal was cooked outside, which we loved. And we moved into the caravan thinking that, well, it doesn't have an outdoor kitchen. We spend most of the time outside. We need an outdoor kitchen. So we found one on Gumtree. We put it in. We used it twice.
Oh, yeah, 2 or 3 times max.
Because it was just too windy. And the jets were just like, they weren't the best. It wasn't the best stove either. So it would just get blown out, and we got pretty tired of it. And it was like 50-odd, nearly 60 kilos, wasn't it?
Oh, God.
It was an absolute ordeal.
If you want to watch the video of us trying to get that out, I'll link it up here. Like, hurry out. That was an effort. That
was mostly you too, by the way, wasn't it? Like, because you were inside, like under the bed, doing the old clean and jerk.
Oh, God. Not fun. Anyway.
Should have gone to the Olympics for that. When will the F truck be finished?
When will it be finished? Hold up. Doom, 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 doom.
It's here. We got it. So we finally got it back after 6 weeks?
7 weeks.
7 weeks. 7 weeks and there's still a little bit of work to do. So it's just delay times at the moment with getting work done and finding trades is almost impossible, but it's very, very difficult for companies that actually take your vehicle and do all the work for you, like Big Dog Builds, who did a phenomenal job. They pretty sure they were glad to see the tail lights of the car when it was done. And I say that because the bull bar that we put up a massive fight, and the car itself, every job that they wanted to do to it for some reason was just more difficult. Don't know why necessarily, but the bull bar itself was a lot of trouble because the mounts didn't line up, so that really held them up. Anyway, so we got it now. It's beautiful. We absolutely love it. It's an absolute weapon. And if you want to see more on it, you're just going to have to wait. Sorry. But you won't have to wait too long, okay? So just... I know. I had to wait like ages for this, so you can wait just a little bit longer, okay? Budget and expenses breakdown.
Budget. Okay, so first I'm just going to put a little disclaimer out. I don't really keep a budget. I might look like it. People think that I love spreadsheets, which I do love a good spreadsheet, so don't get me wrong. But just tracking of the budget, I don't know. It's just not my forte, so I apologise. What I can tell you is when we're going to leave going forward, we are budgeting $1,000 a week for all of our expenses. So that is like food, fuel, accommodation, insurances, regos, like internet, streaming services, like everything. So about $1,000 a week is what we're budgeting. Generally speaking, we probably spend like groceries. If I talk about that, groceries, I probably spend $250 to $300 a week on that. Like, I know that's a lot of money. So you don't have to get into the comments and tell me that that's way too much for groceries. We understand.
There's a reason for that, though.
There is a reason for that. And some of the reasons for that is that includes dog food for these guys. And it includes their dog treats and things like that as well.
We're all on dietary requirements too.
These guys have to have special sensitive dog food, or they have the worst upset tummy, and you do not want to be stuck in a caravan or a car with them. No, so they have special sensitive dog food. So that is an expense there. Grant is gluten-free and lactose-free, so that also adds to the cost of our groceries.
My fault. Not by choice, I tell you what.
Yeah. So if
it'd be so much cheaper if you didn't have dietary requirements. You can live a lot cheaper.
Yeah. And then I also am like low FODMAP, which I'm not going to go into the detail of that. If you know, you know. If you don't, go Google it. There are a lot of things that I can't eat, which would be really cheap for us if we could eat them, like legumes and lentils, and I avoid things with garlic and onion and everything like that. So it means for us a lot of like prepackaged cheap things are out. We cannot buy them. We can't buy 2-minute noodles really or anything like that. There's some things that we can buy, but it's really limited, and it's like 4 times the price of what you would pay if you were going to buy it normally. So if I'm just going to say, for example, like if we wanted to buy like some meat pies, we can buy 2 meat pies for like $9. And just a normal non-gluten-free person can go buy a meat pie, 2 meat pies for probably like $3. So it just everything is expensive. Bread is like $7 to $8 for half a loaf of bread, where you can buy a loaf of bread for $2.
And you can't buy it everywhere.
So it's just groceries are far more expensive for us. So we spend about $250 to $300 a week on groceries. Eating out, to be honest, we really don't eat out very often. And if we do, it's probably going to be more expensive than the average eating out.
So why don't we?
Well, we don't, because we can cook pretty much anything that we want to eat. And when we're cooking it, we make adjustments allow for our dietary needs.
Yep.
So that's it. So we do that. And if we were to eat out and just stop in a random pub, which it's been hard with the dogs. Yeah. You can't really just go out all the time. We might do more of that and we'll see how we go. But just generally speaking, the only option that's gluten-free in an Outback pub is going to be a steak meal, and it's probably going to be $40.
Yeah.
So
that's one of the reasons why, that's part of the other part of the reason why we spend so much on groceries.
Yeah, it's because we have to make everything. And like cakes and stuff like that, like you can't just go to a bakery and go, I'm just going to get like a really cheap
which is painful.
Pie and whatever for lunch. Like we just can't do that.
Seeing all those really awesome bakeries on the road kills me.
Yeah.
Kills me. I drive past and I could murder for a vanilla slice.
Yeah.
But,
No. So then I could make one for him.
So we haven't done, but I'm gonna. Now that I said it, I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's it. Groceries, $250 to $300 a week. Fuel is dependent on how fast you're travelling and where you're travelling. So, for example, the Great Central Road, we filled up every single day travelling the Great Central Road. Like $120?
About $120
a day to travel the Great Central Road.
Yeah.
So that was very, very expensive. But other weeks,
expect it though.
If you're not moving and you just go, okay, well, I'm going to stay here for 4 or 5 days, and then I'm going to travel 45 minutes down the road, and then I'm going to stay there for 4 or 5 days. Like you can get away with, maybe you're only spending $60 a week on fuel. I think for us, on average, the way that we're going to be travelling when we leave, we're going to be spending like $250 a week on fuel. I think so, at minimum.
I don't know. We'll see how we go. Long range fuel tank now.
Yeah, maybe maybe more, maybe less. I don't really know. Other major expenses is like accommodation. So generally speaking, when we'd be travelling, we find low cost and free camping where we can, mostly because of the dogs. It's just too much stress with Frank, not this one, he's very good, but with Frank and too many noises, too many distractions, other people with other dogs, he just gets way too stressed out, and that stresses us out, and we don't want to deal with that. So we would camp free camps, low-cost camps, hip camps away from other people, and avoid caravan parks pretty much at all costs. So we would be spending, I think on average, maybe like $50 to $100 a week on accommodation. That's probably going to increase when we leave this time. We won't have the dogs. We are going north. There's going to be less free camping and probably more actual caravan spots.
Yeah, there's no getting around it. We'll be staying in more caravan parks going north.
Yeah, so that expense is going to increase as well. So we're probably looking at about $700 a week right now, or just on that budget. And then we've got $300 a week just to cover insurances. You've got car insurance, you've got your registration, you've got caravan insurance, we've got pet insurance, we've got everything, all of the insurances. And then subscriptions, health insurance, all those things come out on top of that. So that's about $1,000 a week for our budget. You will probably be different, but that just gives you a bit of a guide.
Can I just say though too, whether you spend it, need it or not, I would say if you budget for $1,000 a week, yeah, that sounds like a lot. But if you budget for it, you probably won't run out of money, because the chances are, if you're smart, which I'm sure you are, you won't need that full $1,000 a week. You're going to have excess when you do come off your travels and you do whatever you do. Then you won't be hurting so much. Hopefully. Financially, what keeps us traveling?
So I interpret that in how do we afford to keep traveling?
Yep.
We work, really.
We've been on the road for over 2 years now. We've stopped twice.
3 times.
We've stopped 3 times.
Yeah.
So Roadhouse, we both worked.
Yep.
The farm, I worked.
Yep.
And then in Mandurah, when working remote.
Yeah, I worked.
Remote, Bianca worked, and I was the house husband.
Yeah.
Cooking and cleaning and all that sort of stuff, keeping it going. And I was also caretaking the house that we were driveway sitting.
Yeah.
And in that time, so that's what's kept us going. To upgrade the car and everything, that's been from selling the house in Sydney. But what keeps us on the road is sporadically we work.
Yeah.
So we're actually planning on working again towards the end of the year, just to top up for another, 4 or 5 months, and then
probably,
and then we'll head off again for another 8, 12.
Yeah. So that's it, basically. There's no special sauce to it. Yeah. We stop and walk.
Yeah.
Walk. We stop and work when we need more money.
So I can just hear the questions now. So what do we do?
Yeah.
So Bianca does project management for different companies.
I took a contract, so it was 9 months. I don't think I'd do 9 months again. It was a divestment of one company to another company, and I was working on a stream within that. Yeah, previously I did business transformation and project management, so I have that background to fall on.
I'm a jack of all trades, master of none. So I'm a qualified landscaper, horticulturalist, and I'm also a chef. But I haven't worked as a chef for...
No, your last chef role was in Perth in 2011?
Yeah, so a while ago.
Yeah.
That was pretty much the job that I retired from cooking on.
Yep. So it's been a while.
Yeah. I'm also a truck driver. Well, I think I'm HR licensed. But yeah, I've got things and skills to do pretty much a very broad range of jobs. So that helps us get around the country. So
we have a very small percentage of income that comes from YouTube, from your views and watching the ads. So thank you very much for that. In the scheme of things, we have a very small amount of subscribers, about 4,000. But to us, that is huge. So thank you.
Really proud of that, yeah.
Thank you so much. But yeah, we get a couple $100 a month. Some months it's $200. Some months it's $500. And that just goes towards our fuel. So awesome. Thank you. So that's another little bit of income that keeps us going. But main source of income is actually working a job.
Yep.
And there's heaps of jobs out there that you can do while you're traveling.
Oh, if you want to travel and you want to work on the road and do what we do, in terms of work, there is nothing stopping you. There is so much work going around. Sometimes you don't even have to look, and it'll find you. Yeah.
Oh, the other question I have, just on working on the road, I've had a couple of questions about where I have found jobs, mostly through Facebook, to be honest. Yeah. There's a couple of groups that you can join, like working working families on the road, or like caravan park jobs, or even like if you're in a town and you're going to stay there for a while, like Esperance or something like that, or, you know, wherever you are, Cooktown, doesn't matter. Like that particular town will have a Facebook group, and you might be able to post on there and then advertise to the town. Like if you have your own business, like you're a hairdresser or something, you could just post to that page and say, hey, I'm in town from this date to this date. I'm giving out haircuts at the caravan park.
Yeah. If you have any type of trade.
Any type of trade, you can just do that and get some work along the road. So that's an option.
Even just going into any pub.
Just asking.
Depending on your skills and your qualifications, if you've got your RSA, you can get a job in any pub in any town, virtually.
Yeah, and the caravan parks as well ask. Yeah. You'll be able to find someone
will not have a problem.
Will want work.
People are screaming out for work, particularly farm work. So just, get out there and say hello, and don't be afraid to have a conversation with someone. And just ask them. Just ask the question.
Yep.
Do you need someone to give you a hand? I'm available. Can I park our caravan there? Sweet.
Yeah.
I'll start tomorrow. This may sound weird. Do you know if you can put dog poop in a composting toilet? You're right, it does sound weird.
We don't have a composting toilet. Can't speak. We just have a normal Thetford chemical toilet. But to be honest, I can't see any reason why you couldn't.
I can't see any reason why. We're not really the people to ask that.
No.
We don't have a composting toilet, but so like Big Oz have sort of kind of pioneered that a little bit. They have a composting toilet. So ask Jade and Chris about that for more information. But personally, I can't see the reason why you couldn't.
Yeah, I can't see any reason. But yeah, like Big Oz and Aussie Destinations Unknown, they have a Nature's Head composting toilet as well.
I didn't know that. Okay.
But neither of them have dogs. But you could ask them. I don't know anybody who has a what is it called? A composting toilet and has a dog.
Well, you could just ask them, and they'll probably just go outside and find some dog poop and chuck it in and see if see if it works.
Oh, if they wanted to.
If they wanted to. Hey, well, if they're pioneering it, they may as well answer all the questions, right?
Maybe. So I'll link their channels up here if you want to. If you want to reach out to them and ask them the question.
Sorry if I crossed the line there. Not to worry. Next question. Have you decided whether or not to take the dogs with you? We have decided that.
Yeah.
And the answer is we're not taking them for this trip. And I'm going to get a bit sad if I keep talking about it. So we want to go see things. We want to go north. We want to go to national parks, which we didn't get a chance to do the past couple of years. What has changed in order for us to do that is this. Bianca's father bought 185 acres, and we've spent the time doing up the fenced area so that they have just so much room to run around and, wander and be dogs. They are super calm and chill, as you can see, being here. They're completely different. I mean, they loved being with us. He loved being with us on the road. The other one, he's off there somewhere, chill, asleep in the shade. Didn't like the change of scenery every day. It sort of stressed him out a little bit.
He likes the one location.
He likes being with us.
Yeah.
But it does make him a little bit reactive, where he's definitely not that way now. So in future, we'll probably depending on where we go, we'll take them with us.
Yeah.
But for this trip, for the next, 5-6 months till Christmas when we come back? Unfortunately, no. And that's, I'm actually having a bit of trouble with that, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it's going to be really sad. Yep, moving on.
Now, the next question we got was, do we have plans to upgrade the Bush, which is our caravan, is what Bianca called it when we first got it. Our caravan, do we have plans to upgrade it?
No.
No, well, there's no reason to. We're always open to it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it suits us. And at the moment, we don't really have the money to buy something outright and buy it. So we're sort of not really in the market, but never say never. When are we back on the road?
Not long.
Not long now, eh?
Not long.
Like 2 weeks?
2.5, 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
And counting. We've got a lot to do in that time, though, hey?
So much.
But we've done so much in the 4 months.
Oh, yeah, it will be 4 months.
It'll be 4 months in what will be 4 months
Here.
The place looks completely different compared to when we first got here.
Yeah.
For the best. A lot more work waiting for us when we get back.
Yeah. And then we just got stuff to do to prepare us to get back on the road again.
Decking out this thing.
Yeah, sorting out the car, sorting out the little things that are not perfect on it yet. We need to change the rego over to New South Wales and all those other little bits and pieces that we still need to do for that. I need to do a whole big clean out of the Bushtracker. Take all the stuff that belonged to the dogs out of there so I can leave it here with Dad and just sort through all of that stuff. And I'm reupholstering the caravan couch. So I've got all the cushions out of there and the backs out of there at the moment. And I just did all the cutting of the fabric yesterday. So I am reupholstering the couch. Let me know if you are interested in seeing how I do it, because I can put that in a video. If not, then I don't have to put that in a video for you. So just lots of different things getting us ready. So not long, 3 weeks.
Not long now. What prep do you do to keep dust out of the van? Typically, we don't get a lot of dust in our van. We've gotten some dust in, and that was on the Great Central Road. And it turns out that the dust ingress points weren't from the usual things that you would find on most other vans. Where it came in was on these old vans, they came standard with lead acid batteries, AGM batteries. And when they're put under a cavity, like a bench seat on your couch or under the bed, generally they have these kind of like a silver chrome like a little bubble with a vent. It's a breather. So if you see them on the van, that's what those are. The dust was actually going in through them, filling the cavity around the batteries and the board games and everything that we had under the couch seats and stuff, even the fridge. And the dust was coming through there, through the little vents under the seats and onto the floor, but only a very, very small amount, but enough to notice. And you could smell it, but that was under extreme dust conditions. That road was 1,000 k's of really, really heavy, silty dust and dirt. So we're going to plug those holes and we'll see how we go when we head up north.
Yeah, definitely. The only places we've got dust is that place where it comes in underneath and it kind of comes out. There's a door underneath the fridge which is all connected, and it comes out through there, and then through the vent on the front, on the actual door to get into the caravan. So if we're going to go on a super dusty road, I kind of block that vent with towel or foam or something, and we have a water door on the caravan which we can close. So we close those. It minimises the dust. Some dust still kind of gets in just near the door, and then hopefully the fix that we've just done will stop the dust from coming in underneath the fridge area and then into the caravan. But just generally speaking, it's only a little bit of dust on the floor. There's not dust throughout the whole caravan. They're the only two places. Your bench tops are clean, like everything else like that is very clean. So just generally speaking, if we're on just a normal dirt road, I don't do anything to prevent dust. I don't even close the dust door, like that water door or anything like that. It's just like if we're on the Unadilla track or, the Great Central Road, or if we were going to go like when we go up to Cape York on the PDR, we'll probably close that door and do those dust preventions. But if it's just like a general dirt road, we don't really do anything to prevent dust.
If you get under your van and you make sure that any pipes and any plumbing are completely sealed, like where they actually go inside the van or the floor of the van, if you make sure that they're siliconed up properly, if your van's an old one like ours, maybe chuck a bit of extra bitumized paint on there. That'll help seal the floor as well. And then I have a theory, so don't quote me on this, but I have a theory that the stone stompers, if you have something like that, like one of those big sort of tarp things that go between or under the A-frame from the van to the car, the dust actually travels underneath that and then under the van and away from the van, out the back of the van. I've heard testimonials from people that own them. I'm getting some made now and won't get them for another 8 weeks. So I can't tell you, I can't prove that, but I've heard testimonials from current owners that is the case. So I'll be interested to see how well that works. I have spoken to a few guys that even had those like truck brushes that they put underneath the A-frame, like where the A-frame meets the caravan itself, or even truck flaps, and that actually helps push the dust from the vehicle. It hits the mud flaps and goes out the sides of the van and doesn't really go under the van too much. But then the dust has got to go somewhere, right? So it probably hits the side of the van. As long as the vents are shut, windows are shut nice and tight, you shouldn't have any problems. But that's sort of aside the point. That's all sort of speculation too. So what we do is just what Bianca said, basically. Moving on. I think it's a good one. This is the one from Gary, isn't it? So if you were planning on traveling for the first time, what would you do differently? That's such a good question that I'm having troubles finding an answer to.
I think what would we do differently? So I don't know if there is much that I would actually do differently for us traveling. Because whatever we've done has led us to where we are now, which is fantastic, a great outcome, and we're continuing to travel, so it's turned out perfectly for us. Yep. Along the way, there's been some things that have like just struggled on my head, like, oh, did we stop and work too early? Should we have not stopped and worked yet? Should we have seen more things? I guess we've just taken opportunities as they've arisen to us. Like, I didn't necessarily plan to work a 9-month contract, but my friend contacted me and was like, hey, I have this fantastic opportunity. Do you want to work. And I said, no, I don't. I don't want to work. And
then she told us the rate, and I'm like, yeah, you're working.
Yeah, basically. And it was an opportunity I couldn't refuse, right? So we stopped, we worked, I worked, and it's enabled us to keep travelling for longer. Yeah. If I didn't take that opportunity, we could have kept travelling, and then I would have had to find a different job anywhere, anyway, and it could have been an opportunity that wasn't as great. So we just take opportunities as they come up. We tend not to look back too much and think about changing what we've done, because whatever we've done has led us to where we are, so we can't be unhappy with what we've got.
I would say, just sort of expanding on that a little bit, is life is an adventure when you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And you can try and fight that, you can try and plan, but you're going to be disappointed. So we just don't. Well, I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow. I don't know what our videos are going to look like for the rest of the year. We'll find out.
Yeah.
So for me, that's part of the fun. To say what will we do differently? Well, that's a really hard thing to answer, because the good and the bad, that's been our story. It's been our adventure. You could sit there and say, well, I wouldn't do this. I wouldn't do A, B, and C because that led to something that wasn't particularly great. Like working on the farm in WA. Yeah, that wasn't a particularly pleasant experience. But it's part of our story.
Yeah.
So what would we change? I would actually say nothing.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are things from a learning standpoint for some of our viewers. I mean, you could probably just watch our videos and make your own minds up what we could have done differently. I would say.
I'm sure everybody's got some ideas.
Yeah.
But I think just in general, we try to live like in the present, and I might get a little bit deep here, but like we try to live in the present. I don't try to live in the past and think about the past experiences too much, or just live in the future and be wishing things away. It's like the present, where we are right now. We enjoy that, and we keep moving forward, and whatever opportunities arise. You can always get more money and things like that, but you can't get more time. You have to just experience what you are experiencing. And I guess if this question is more around like advice for people, my advice is just get out and go see the country. If you want to go out and travel, get out and travel. You will find a way to make it work. You know, you can get out there in a 30-year-old four-wheel drive with a rooftop tent and an esky and not much else. You can get out and see as much as you want to see, and you might come across an opportunity to work somewhere that then gives you some more money to upgrade something. And then you get a fridge, right? And then you go somewhere else and you can stay there and they pay for your food and your accommodation and you get some more money, and then you buy a camper trailer and then you go somewhere else. Like, you can build on whatever you have. Just go out and do what you want to do now, because you don't know if tomorrow's going to be there.
Yeah, it's not guaranteed to anyone tomorrow. And I would rather have a bad day traveling the country than a good day at work.
Yeah. So I worked corporate for 22 years, and I was getting to the point where, like, I turned around to Grant and I said, I can't do this anymore. Like, if I keep working the way that I'm working and the hours that I'm working and all these things, I'm not getting the enjoyment out of life. Like, what am I doing that for? Just so that I can pay off a mortgage, but then never actually do what I actually want to do, which is get out there and travel. Like, just go.
You can make excuses all day not to do it, and that's the trap, is making excuses. Some of them might be actually really valid, and we don't know your story, so we can't comment on that.
Yeah.
But for us, what I'm saying is, for us, it got to the point where we could think of pages of reasons not to do it, but we could only think of one reason to do it, and that was enough. And that was, I could be dead tomorrow.
Sorry.
Yeah, my dad was happy, he was alive, and then one day just had a heart attack, died. Just he wasn't here anymore. And we were planning on traveling. It happened less than a year before we actually hit the road, just under a year. And he and my mum were going to come with us, and that changed pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So, and he was planning on retiring. So don't even think about saying the R word, because who knows, you're inviting the worst. But anyway, so just stop talking about it and do it.
Yeah, so that's a little bit of a somber note there.
Okay, well, fine. Yeah. But I've got one last question.
Hang on. Frankie, come over here and say hello. You come and say hello to everybody. Frank.
Yeah, walk all over my book. That's fine.
Yeah. You say hello. Oh, hello.
So the one last question is, do we love Boz?
Do we love Boz?
Yeah.
We do love Boz.
So, Boz, Brad, he's been with us from the start, virtually. He from our early videos, he found us and enjoys watching us. So, thank you.
Yep. We're missing some of your comments, but you haven't commented for a while,
yeah,
Boz.
It's been a bit quiet. I was hoping you've been okay, mate. So hopefully it's all good. So that's pretty much, that wraps it all up for this Q&A, and we'll see you in the next one. Do stick around. I am planning, for those of you that are chomping at the bit to see the walk around for the beast, for the Effie behind me, do be patient, please. It won't be very long. I do plan on shooting that in the next week or two. So within the next month, you will have it.
Yeah. We just got a lot of things on.
Yeah, we haven't even finished decking it out yet. So I just thought I'd park it behind us to tease you a little bit. So
yeah.
Hang in there.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
If you stayed this far, thank you.
Yeah,
we appreciate it.
Well
and
done.
we're looking forward to hitting the road and showing you some more adventuring.
Yeah, not long now, guys. See you in the next one.